Hey, what's up, beautiful people? This is Kiki coming to you today to send nothing but love, peace, and positivity your way. Haven't been feeling the best these past couple of days. I don't know if it's the heat or I'm not hydrated enough. Make sure y'all drink water, even if you're inside. Continue to keep yourself hydrated. But yeah, I had a little heart scare. I thought that I was gonna end up having a heart attack because I had so much pressure and pain in my chest, along with pain in my tooth. And I'm like, okay, what is all this about? Because I make sure I do, my routine with my teeth cleaning, and I make sure that I eat the right food so I don't have to worry about having clogged arteries. So I don't know, but I had to just take a little break, kind of chill for a little bit. I did have my heart checked at the ER, and they hooked me up to a EKG, and I'm so grateful and happy that there's no serious, well, they didn't find any serious underlying issue, but I think they did want to still run further tests. They wanted me to go to my primary doctor to run further tests because sometimes the EKG doesn't always pick up things. And also, I know how serious it is with the way my family history is with heart issues. My great-grandmother had a heart attack, my grandmother had a stroke, and then my mom had some heart issues as well. So I just know that when I think about it, their personalities, they had the biggest heart. They are always big on giving. They just have a soft spot for people that's always going through certain circumstances. And I think it kind of rubbed off on me. I will say it comes a point in time when you have to put your foot down. And some people may call you a bitch. Some people may look at you sideways, like, why you switching up? What happened to all your sunshine and light and your positivity? But sometimes you gotta let them know that it's always duality. Every time there's a storm, there's sunshine, there's the rainbow. So if you don't want to respect my sunshine and rainbow, then most likely you're gonna deal with a hailstorm. So it's just you just gotta pick your choice. But I really wanted to talk about honesty. This is similar to my other video about transparency and things like that. But I know it is very hard for many people to maintain honesty, at least 90% of the time in their life. I know it is hard. It is not easy. It is not easy, especially when sometimes you have to, sugarcoat things just so you won't hurt people's feelings. But I'm gonna tell you why I would rather be hurt by honesty than by a lie. See, honesty kind of gives you room to evaluate things, and it's kind of easier. I'm not going to say it's going to be a fast-paced type situation, but it's easier to forgive people when they are trying to be honest. But unfortunately, I have ran into many clown-like guys in my life, clown-like people, not just guys, but people that have a childish mentality, and they pose or they walk around pretending like they are very mature, they got it all together, they got all the sense in the world. And the good thing about my connection with my inner self and my the Most High, the Spirit guys, they have blessed me with this African fat nose and these full juicy lips to speak on some bullshit and sniff it out as well. And so I feel like this. So let me share a little bit about my process of going through a separation and to a divorce. Okay, so this is how the lie started. The lie started when I did not really speak out about not being ready to be a wife. So I will take accountability with that. I was not fully prepped for it because I felt like I needed more time to learn about myself. I mean, I was 21. 21, we still trying to club. We still trying to go out and travel the world. We're trying to figure out which college we want to graduate from. But at that time, I was playing housewife, right? And so I knew that I was in the wrong place, but I was looking for fast gratification and comfort. That's what I was looking for. And so I can't really speak for my ex-spouse, but I'm pretty sure he can say the same thing. So, but because we had people come to us about, oh, marriage is so beautiful and you guys make a great couple and you should get married. Now, these are the same people that really pressured us and tried to witness to us through the Bible, showing us every single verse why we should get married, because it's an abomination if we're not, we're fornicating, we're this and that. Now, this same couple that pretty much took us on, because see, when you start going to a church and the pastor would normally put you with someone that's more experienced and been pretty much a dedicated member, and that's really good at, you know, bringing other people in. So I guess they call it witnessing, whatever. And so we were invited to come over to their house. I'll never forget Brother Tillman, the Tillmans. Beautiful young couple, but they had hidden issues. Lived in a nice home. Actually, they lived in a condo. They used to kind of invite people over from the church and we'll have a little game night. But here's the messed up part about it. Every time we come together for game night, the husband, and I can be messing up and about to lose and everything, but the husband will always try to take up for me. and because, you know, we would break up in teams and he would always try to figure out a way to make it seem like I'm winning and I'm coming up with good answers when I know they were really crappy answers. Like a lot of times we'll play charades or we'll play gestures and stuff like that. And so one particular day, my husband was like, I'm not feeling this dude. And I'm like, I don't understand. They're all friendly. We don't really have a lot of friends. Why you hating? I'm in denial and just enjoying that, gosh, finally somebody in my corner. But he was like, nah, I don't trust this dude. I don't trust this dude. And I'm like, well, I'm cool with his wife. We cool. I don't understand why you feeling uncomfortable. So one day, his wife was trying to, you know, vent and share what she was going through and all her challenges. And but it wasn't like it was like something major. She was just like, you know, she just feel like her husband is not making enough time for her and he's always working and blase. And then one particular morning, her husband came over to our house because at the time we ended up renting a house, you know, trying to start a little home. And yeah, we were really young. This was like in our early 20s. He talking about he needed to talk to me about something. I'm like, well, what in the world is going on? It's almost 7-something in the morning. He talking about he need to talk to me about something. And then he didn't know that at the time, before I got married, my boyfriend, because we were like fiance type, we were on that level. He didn't know that he didn't decide to go to work, or he decided to go and work late. So he was the one that answered the door. So when he answered the door, then he was like, well, dude, what's up with you? Why what you need to say to my girl? You know, whatever you got to say to her, you can say it to me. And he was like, nah, I just wanted to talk to her and give her some encouraging words. And, then, my husband was like, nah, nigga, you up to no good. You moving slimy and this and that. And so then the guy started being rude and disrespectful. Nobody wants your fucking bitch. She ain't even on that. And I'm like, oh my God, why do I got to be in the middle of this shit right here? And so eventually the guy left. And so later on, we kind of like just stopped hanging around that couple. And so the couple later on, like months later, no, I think it was like a year past, because I was finishing up at the community college, and I ran into the lady, his wife, and she was like, my husband left me. And I'm like, what? Not the same people that's trying to tell us the beauty in marriage. Yeah, my husband left me for a woman that have 5 children. Now, mind you, they only have one child together. They only had one beautiful little boy. God, I can't remember that little boy's name, but I'm pretty sure he should be in middle school by now, or high school. But yeah, he left his wife and the nice setup they got going on for a woman with 5 children. And so that really broke my heart, because I'm like, all y'all had to do is be honest and tell the truth. And maybe they were being honest. Maybe they were in a phase in their marriage, maybe the honeymoon phase, where things were going well. They were, making love every 5 minutes, that early honeymoon stage. Maybe that's why they thought it would be beautiful to see other young couples get married, because they were married. But I felt like it was still hidden issues going on within their marriage. And I only learned that because, you know, why is her husband trying to come and meet up with me early in the morning? I had no clue. I mean, I don't even talk to him like that. And back then, we didn't even have cell phones. So I was like kind of shocked too. But apparently, he felt like he needed to talk to me and not my husband about whatever it was. So with that being said, time went on. And then I had another cousin that kept trying to convince us to get married. And we really was trying to prolong the whole situation. I mean, we were dating for almost 4 years and breaking up in those 4 years and coming back together and breaking up. So that's kind of why I think my ex-husband is kind of used to me being forgiving and soft and so sweet and kind and falling for some more of his clownery. And when you get a certain age, that get played out. That shit is it gets played out. It's just like bare bottoms and afros. It's cute, but after a while, you're ready for something else. And we still took our ass on down to the courtroom. I mean, we got in an argument right before we went to the courtroom. And, you know, and we said, you know, we went ahead and pushed through it. But then instead of both of us speaking up about, man, we need to just face it. We got a lot of childhood trauma. We got a lot of ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend trauma. Why don't we just slow it down and go off our own intuition? Because that was the issue. When other people come along and they share their story or they try to push their opinion onto you, that blocks your intuition. And I'm not saying that people don't have good advice, because I know I'm big on giving advice. That's what I do in most of my content. But at the end of the day, you still got to use your discernment. Even if I'm right, even if I'm wrong, you still got to use your discernment. I never ever take everybody's information at face value. I go and try to do my own research, and I sit and meditate on that. Anyway, we both brought a lie, or it started off on a lying foundation. So that's what I came to realize as I sit through my solo or my solitude time. But I knew my heart was determined to find out how to love this guy, because I still didn't even love myself yet. You know, when you're 21, 22, you're just trying to have fun. You don't really be thinking about all this stuff. It's like the things that I'm learning now today that a lot of the new age people have access to, as far as affirmation, learning about African consciousness and spirituality, that did exist back then, but it wasn't hardcore like it is today. So a lot of young people around my age made some really fucked up decisions as they were, you know, maturing and growing through life. They did a lot of stuff without having self-love. And so with that being said, I'm the type of person that's loyal. So even though I went through a lot of verbal abuse, I felt like I was in competition with other women. I felt like a lot of women disrespected my marriage, and I don't think my husband even tried to protect our marriage. I feel like, you know, because this is one instant he told me. Now, he used to do flooring work, right? And I'm gonna try not to make this whole video about him, because I know he's just enjoying getting the energy from this. But I'll tell you eventually towards the end why I even brought this up, you know, why his name is even involved in my video. But it's like, he used to do flooring work, and so women would call him, but they would try to sell him, well, give him pussy instead of pay him, and knowing you can't pay bills with pussy. And I know that he did not carry himself professionally, because there were too many stories he was bringing home about women flirting with him. One woman called him in her house, and she was like, I need you to fix something. He was like, well, what you need me to fix? And he told me that she bent over either on her bed or on the couch, and she didn't have no panties on, and said, I need you to fix his pussy. So that's the kind of hungry, thirsty women that exist out there. And I felt like, okay, well, it's just a way you got to present yourself to be professional. And this is exactly why. That's why I did not even go through with it, because I wanted to start a family business, but I did not want to feel like he is out there fucking all the parents that come through the door with a child, all the single mothers. So I just did not even want to go through it. But I'm just saying, if he knew that he was tempted, he knew that he wasn't ready to be a husband, he should have said something up front. And I was the one that was speaking out about it, but I wanted to find out how can we strengthen our relationship, because we were going to the wrong people. The wrong people was giving us bad advice about how to save our relationship. Like, he would go to his friend Chris' house And I'm like, how you gonna go ask him for advice or go to his house when you know the environment is unhealthy? If you know his brother got a crush on you and trying to secretly fuck you, and then on top of that, Chris looking at pornography in the living room, he got kids ripping and running around the house. Like, how can he give the best advice about being married? And when I seen his wife was very smart, but it seemed like she was more book smart than street smart. And I'm just saying, I know I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but ain't no way in hell I'm gonna let, I don't know, some people just let that demon of succubus come over and take advantage of their life, or Jezebel spirit. But anyway, and she was a sweet woman, very kind and sweet. When you see her, you wouldn't even believe she married to the person she married to. But anyway, that's the kind of advice he would go over there and get from him. Then on my part, I would get advice from like my mom, and my mom be quick to be like, okay, y'all, I love you, but if you try me, I'm gonna slice you in half the next day. So she that's how that's the kind of love she give. Like, you cannot break her heart, or you just want to hurry up and move out her way. And I knew that wasn't healthy. And I didn't even have experience in relationships, but I just knew I didn't want to be like that. And so, and I love her. I'm not saying she's terrible, but that was just too much. That right there, that was too much. And so, cause she would be like, just beat his ass. Just don't be scared of him, beat his ass. I'm like, mama, this is a man. But she always, she was always strong enough to hang with a man, when it. But anyway, I digress. So, as time went on, lies continued to pile, and that's the problem. When you start off with one little simple white lie, then you got to cover it with another lie. Then it started to get darker. All the lies start to get darker as time go on. So from a white lie to a gray lie to now you in the black lie zone. So now it's a heavy lie, and now it's affecting everybody around you. And so now I learned that, okay, or he decided to step out the marriage first, but then he comes and tell me that, well, you're not innocent either. And I'm like, I knew I needed to move on. I knew that I would rather talk to other guys than try to make it work in my marriage, because I already tried to make it work 20 something times. So I can lead a horse to water, but I cannot force him to drink. I cannot force anybody to go back into their childhood trauma to find out why they were exposed to sexual things that they shouldn't have been exposed to. I cannot force somebody to go back and figure out how to heal from a broken heart from all the girls that they thought they could hook up with or whatever. I can't do that. That's out of my control. So I would rather just move on. And he's counting that as, okay, I'm not innocent. Really? When I said I wanted a divorce, and then you agreed and he agreed to it, there's nothing else. There's nothing else but a piece of paper that belonged to some white people in the courtroom. But they're not going to tell me who I can love and give my heart to. They're not going to tell me when I can move on, when I can't move on. Or they're not going to do that. They already run my life enough. They take enough taxes out of my stuff. They tell me how I need to handle my kids, or they come and snatch them away. They're already running enough. They're doing enough. The government doing enough. So I am not going to live my life miserable, waiting, and he trying to, find a way to work his way back in with some words and acting all innocent in front of the kids. So the lie this is what the lie how it has affected my life, and it could potentially affect yours if you go through the same process. Okay, first off, you're gonna get disrespected by the woman he's sleeping with, because she's gonna feel like, well, she was so special and good enough for him to step out, even though she doesn't want to face the fact that she's a fucking ass rebound. She don't want to face that, so she got to make it seem like she did something, but she don't even realize that he's trying to come on back to his wife. Anyway, the lie also affects her because she's thinking she got control. Secondly, it affects our children because they don't want to have to choose between mama feelings and daddy feelings when they know daddy done fucked up. So now I feel like I'm having these resentment, funny attitudes because, yes, I've been outspoken, but my girls still had my back. They still love me. But see, when I start being outspoken to their father and I start putting that mirror in his face, they're like, Mama, that's kind of harsh. Mama, that's kind of cold. He didn't consider my feelings when he decided to meet that woman in that hotel. He did not consider my feelings when he put his hand around my neck twice. He did not consider my feelings when he caused me to miscarry. But see, when I bring this up to my kids, they're like, well, yeah, I understand. But they don't really want to have to be caught up in the middle. And I get it. I understand that. But I'm not going to sugarcoat, and I'm not going to walk around and just lie on their father, because at the end of the day, he's still the father of my kids. And I did love him once upon a time. So that's the trick. Allah caused me to lose both of my pets. No, he did not kill them, but he did put us in a position where I could not keep them, and they were more like emotional pets. But you know, it is what it is. I'm going to eventually replace and get more. Allah caused me to lose a lot of money, because see, if I had known that he did not want to stay in this marriage, then I would never went and made the choices I made as far as with money, as far as expanding our family, as far as a lot of things. Probably career choices. I even lost my job, one of my jobs, because they were like, you're taking too long to figure out whether you are going to work here next year. We need to know if the teacher is going to be here or not. They wanted me to come back, but I couldn't even tell them anything because I didn't know if I had to move out and separate from my husband and move to another city or stay in that household. So it's just a lot of shit trickled down because of a lie. And all you had to do was say, I wanted to stay single. Because I'm not going for no open marriage. I'm not going to be no third party, and I don't want to invite no third parties in my marriage. So that's all he had to do, is be honest. So with that being said, and I know y'all, if you've been following me, I know you've been hearing bits and pieces throughout a lot of my content, but that's the main goal of my content, is to bring awareness, not of, you know, cheaters and cheating husbands, or lying ass family members, and or nasty attitude co-workers, or, you know, or knowing how to connect with your inner self and Most High. It's about just reality. It's just about reality. Whether you're dating some, you know, gaming ass niggas, it doesn't matter. It's just about reality. Whether you're dealing with the government trying to suck the rest of your energy out of you, I'm going to talk about it. So as much as this could be a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, this is just to get you to understand that you have the ability to prevent what I'm talking about. And even if you started off with a lie, you have life, health, and strength in another day to clear it up. It is better to hurt somebody with the truth than hurt somebody with the lie. Because like I said, it affected everything. Social, emotional. My children were acting suicidal. I'm pretty much messed up with debt. So these are the things. It creates baggages. It creates division in the family. His mother don't care too much for me because I ain't settled like her and accept abuse like, you know, the other mothers. I'm just refusing to deal with that. And I was told by him that, oh, you ain't gonna find other guys out there that don't have a temper. You ain't gonna find other guys out there that, you know, that's gonna put up with a woman that's outspoken. You know, because I can be, yes. But if you and I have an understanding, because I'm a very cordial person, but when you push me to the limits, I'm not gonna sit here and be quiet and put my thumb in my mouth. I'm not gonna do that. So with that being said, I'm going to try to wrap this up because I know it's already 28 minutes in. What led to this conversation, not really particularly him, but just people around the world. When you open your mouth, you have to know, are you opening your mouth to give advice to speak life into people or set people up for death? And so you already know karma going to kick your ass if you try to set somebody up for death. It ain't no doubt about it. When you're trying to figure out why something happened to your kid at an early age, when you're trying to figure out why your money going bad, or why your partner tripping, or why something happened to your parents and this and this and that, you gotta sometimes, not saying all the time, look back at how your life has been going. Do you think you've been more of a positive contributor to our society, or rather a negative contributor to our society? And see, a lot of guys, and I have much love for everybody, but a lot of people that join gangs and they are very low vibrational, they suffer the worst. They suffer the worst. Even if they say, okay, I want to quit the gang, I want to change my life around, that karma still gotta catch up. It still gotta catch up. The things that people do low vibrational and thinking they got away with it because they done went and got saved, or they went and changed their life around, unfortunately, that's universal law. It's got to balance itself out. So, but I'm going to move on so I can get ready to conclude this. So if you've seen in my other video, I was telling you guys that my daughter, she drives a hybrid Sonata Hyundai. The car is it's pretty much old, but not too old enough to where it still had some more life in it. And so the tricky part is you have to jump it from some type of device in the front of the car in order to pop the trunk to jump it from the battery in the back, because the battery's in the back. So I've been fighting with this car. Me and my daughter and my son, we've been trying to figure it out. I even had the AutoZone people come out. I even had this private mechanic come and look at it, and they were saying that the alternator could be going out. And I already changed the battery. I flipped it one way in the fob, and I flipped it another way in the fob, and it still was tripping. So my ex come and pick up the car, and then, because he's responsible for the car anyway, the car is in his name and the tag is in his name. But then he sends out a text, oh, well, ain't nothing wrong with the car. I had somebody look at it, and y'all just need to learn more about cars before y'all say it ain't working. My daughter was like, I don't want it back no more anyway, because why get a car that have a lot of issues and you know nobody don't really have mechanic money to keep it up, and then on top of that, you ain't around to keep it maintained. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I knew, see, I could have ignored it, but that's what I've been doing all my life. And like I said, it's just getting to the point in time where I'm just tired of acting like sunshine and rainbows, even when people be acting shitty, or when people be trying to, act funny. And so I feel like it's like he got money to do what he want to do, travel, do whatever, buy tickets or whatever. But when it come down to getting his paperwork together and finishing and finalizing his part of the divorce on the paperwork, then, I gotta wait until I get the money. So it's like, who got time for that BS? That's why I said, I don't care how long that paperwork take. I am not finna sit around and with my thumbs twiddling. I'm going to prepare myself for a better partner, because I really don't have time for the BS. I mean, I went through it. Not just losing a lot of stuff, but putting up with bullshit from people, from family members that I ain't even have to deal with. Because his mama ain't a pleasant person to deal with. His other baby mama ain't a pleasant person to be, and she done had a twin daughter that act just like her, so she ain't a pleasant person to deal with. And so when somebody's like, you gotta be nicer, he never had my back. He really did not have my back, and nothing really. I mean, when I graduated from FIU, he was not thrilled about it. Oh, trust and believe, he was not thrilled about it. And I felt the energy, I felt the jealousy, I felt it so heavy to where in some of my pictures, when I had to take the graduation pictures, I wanted to cry. That's how strong my empathic abilities were. I was like, I cannot believe I married an enemy. I cannot believe it. And so no matter how much somebody put money into you, that doesn't mean they love you. No, there's another ulterior motive. No matter how much somebody lick you up until you say stop in the bedroom real nice and good, doesn't mean they love you. They can bring you around their parents, family. It doesn't mean that they love you. How do you know if somebody really loves you? I can't really speak for everybody, because everybody have their own different love language. But I know for me, if you're reciprocating what I'm giving, I know for a fact that I'm loved. Because when I love hard. Sometimes I have to control it. Not that I'm clingy, because I really don't want nobody clinging under me. I don't even want my own kids clinging on me. But I just know when you're honest, and I'm not saying perfect, but when you want to genuinely grow with somebody and have their back through sickness and health, you're loved. Yeah. So anyway, just don't get caught up with the lies. We already got to deal with it anyway. The government been lying to us from day one. All that paperwork and constitution and shit, that's all a lie. The American flag, that's a lie. The hidden meaning behind the Star Spangled Banner, that's a lie. And then it's trickling around and everybody contradicting each other. I can go on and on and on and on. Even with the way we take care of our bodies. A lot of those westernized doctors' ideas, that's a lie. So you got to make sure you don't get caught up in it as much as possible. As much as possible. And if you don't know, tap in. Connect with your intuition, your spirit guides. They're going to give you the right answer. Because you never know. People might be giving you advice just to see you fail. Just to see you cut your life short. Like, I don't know. I heard somebody tell me that there's nothing wrong with eating pork. I haven't heard anything positive about it yet. Other than it tastes good. That's about it. But what it does to your body and them parasites that's hiding up in it, that's a different story. So I don't know. There's a lot of people walking around here pregnant with parasites. I'm not saying that it ain't nothing in the vegetables, so let's not start a controversy over that. But y'all, just keep your head up. Until next time, I love you and peace out.